Welcome to Exercise Done Different Episode 2. In this video, I want to share a little bit about how I've adapted my training this year to focus more on going faster and my pursuit for the need for speed. And before we begin, I just want to recap one of the key points from my video from last week, and that is that your exercise should be specific to you. It should be specific to your training goals, whether that's a health and fitness goal or your sport. So for me this year, I've been doing a lot less Spartan racing, a lot less obstacle course racing, and a lot more touch rugby league. And the demands of those two sports are very different, and therefore how I train for them is very different. So let's get in and talk about the need for speed, how we can use our training to go faster. When I was putting together this program, the first question I asked myself was, how do I go faster? And I'm going to just take that a step back, and I want to share something quite general with you because I think it applies to everything. Let's say, how do I get better at whatever it is? And I think there's two key things. One, we do it often, so we're getting in some consistent practice. And then secondly, we do it better. And that is we find some way to just get incrementally better at it, and if we do that enough over time, before long we've become very good at it. So when it comes to exercise, we actually have a number of things we can do more of when it comes to our training, and how we specifically focus on certain areas can really give us different training goals. So we can increase the weight, we can increase the speed, we can increase the duration, we can increase the frequency. And then when it comes to speed training, I see a lot of people, they are fiddling with the wrong lever, and they're not getting the best results they can. So when we think about speed, and that is going at maximum intensity, what we know is that intensity and duration are inversely linked. And that's sort of the saying, you can either have a good time or a long time. And let's think about the difference between a sprinter and a marathon runner. So when it comes to speed training, we get faster by going faster. And that should be our focus, is to make it a consistent part of our training and then find some way to each session just slowly get faster and faster and faster and faster. So how do I do that? Well, specifically, there are three things I focus on when I'm putting together my speed training. The first thing is I make sure I've got strong legs. And that means I do weight training. I do a full body workout 2 times a week. And when I'm in that workout, when I'm working on my legs, there are 2 lifts I prefer. One is the deadlift. That's an upright exercise, so it's the same position my body is in when I'm running. It's using my abdominal muscles to keep me in that upright position. It's a big exercise, so I'm getting big results. And then the second one is the lunge. And I like the lunge for running and football because it's a single leg exercise. So I'm getting each leg strong independently of the other leg. And I'm also increasing my stability and my balance, which is very helpful for running. Then secondly, I am focusing on my flexibility. I see a physiotherapist, and we've got some drills and some stretches and some things I'm working on to increase the range of motion, and that is to reduce some injuries, but also to improve my running stride, which means less energy is wasted in the impact, and I'm able to more efficiently move. And just backtracking, the reason I want to get stronger is the stronger I am, the more force I can exert, and then I'm putting that force into moving my body further and faster. And then the third thing is I've got a specific training program, and the focus of my training is intensity. And so how I structure that is share with you the drill I use. I don't need a lot of equipment. You will need a decent amount of space, so I've come down to one of my local parks, and I brought with me my running cones and my field markers from my previous video as part of my car gym. And I'm going to use these to really craft a drill that is just going to be so fantastic for improving my speed. So to recap, we go faster by going faster, and we improve at things by slowly increasing our proficiency at them. We don't get faster by running the same distance. We don't get smarter by reading the same book. So, short duration, I'm going with 5-second intervals. You could do 10 seconds, but I think 5 is enough for us to absolutely hit it to our limit. In the first 5-second interval, I'm going to start at the starting point, and then I'm going to run as far as I can in 5 seconds. And then I'm going to give myself plenty of time to recover, thinking maybe 30 seconds, walk it back, maybe take a sip of water, get a quick breath back, stretch anything out, start moving my joints, whatever. And then for the second 5 seconds, my goal is to go beyond the first cone. And then I'm going to keep doing that until I can't do it anymore. And the reason I'm using the cones, I think they're a really great way. It's very easy to hit a target we can see. And because I'm wanting to increase the intensity to overall boost my speed, I can do that two ways. I can keep the distance fixed and reduce the time, but I find it very hard to know how I'm traveling in that specific work interval, how hard I have to push, because most timers will only give you the 3 beeps at the end. So instead, I keep the time fixed. So that's my 5 seconds, and each time I'm just going to have to go beyond the furthest marker. And I've based that a little bit on my experience in my old job. I found that people got super productive between 3 and 5 p.m. and I think that's because they knew there was home time coming, so they got this extra spring in their step where they could see the finish line, huge productivity and a flurry of emails. So that's my reasoning behind it. Let's get into it. This is the Need for Speed drill number 1. I was really hoping to have the red cone as my last marker, but I was about 1 step too short of making that last interval. So that was the end of the drill. As I said, I then give myself plenty of time to recover, a couple of minutes of something nice and light, maybe practice my kicking and my catching, and then I do that again. And one thing which I don't have anything with me, if I were being super 100% about this, I would measure how far I went on my final run, and then perhaps next week or the next time I do this, that's my starting point, and that way I can continue to improve, because that's the key to getting better at something, is to just keep pushing, making small gains. So to wrap it all up, we get faster by going faster